Just want to say I'm hitting the YouTube button right now. Hey, Dan's joining us. Hey, Dan, you finally made it. There he is.
Hey,
Dan.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm marvelous, thank you.
God, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know it. I've been up north for about 2.5 months or so, too. So,
Well, hey, Dan, I was just saying that we're starting our computer club meeting now. It's 9 o'clock. I just hit the YouTube button. I thought I had solved the problem, but I didn't. So behind me, there's something just itching at my back saying this doesn't work. This doesn't work, and I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to pay any attention to it. And we're going to go forward with our computer club meeting like we typically do every Saturday at 9 in this virtual format. All in one breath. And it's great to have you with us, man. I'm glad you finally decided to check it out.
yeah, I'm good. It's good to see y'all.
So in typical fashion, we're not that well organized, but I have brought a couple of my own topics, and we were just talking about a movie, Lobster War, that talks about fishing rights. Where was I? I just had it in front of me and I lost it. But yeah, this thing. Well, this is what we were looking at. And we were just sharing personal experiences and not really much tech. So I am ready and open to answer questions, any kind of tech questions, any news people would like to talk about. Does anybody have anything right off the hour they're interested in knowing or sharing with the group?
No.
No, nothing. Nothing. I did bring some topics with me. I feel bad ruining our flow by having to give an introduction, but I feel like I need to start out with something. Well, where's Judy? Because she's the one that wanted this answered. I've got the answer to her question about the Poldark series in Mexico. I don't know if you remember, but last week we were talking about on Amazon Prime in Mexico. Judy was concerned about watching Masterpiece Theater presenting on Amazon Prime the Poldark series.
I didn't find it.
I found it, but it's
Oh.
only available through a sub subscription with acornTV.
Oh.
Yeah, and so it didn't feel. I mean, it's not really it's available if you want to pay for it, but it's not available. It's available through Prime, only through this Acorn subscription.
Oh.
And that has I kept the link here. There's actually a charge for that. You can watch it for 30 days for free. No, 7 days for free. Prime is 30 days for free. And then it's 80 pesos a month. So it's like $4 a month for Acorn TV. Hey, there she is. We were just talking about your topic. Good morning, Judy.
Your microphone's off, Judy.
We can't hear you.
Now you can.
Yay. How you doing this morning?
Good. It's smoky here, though.
Oh, yeah, you have wildfires?
Yeah, over on the western slope, Grand Junction, and down by Pagosa Springs, and there's a big one up by Glenwood Springs.
Nowhere near you, just smoke coming in?
Just smoke coming in.
Boy, that's how I did Anchorage last summer. All we had was just smoke every other day. Come roll in the north and the south, the wind would blow. Every once in a while you get a pocket without anything, but we spent most of the summer closed up in home. Not because of a virus, but because we were the air quality was so bad. It was actually
Hey, Judy, where are you?
Hi.
Good morning. Where are you?
Colorado.
No, I know where.
Colorado Springs.
Aha, okay.
Springs.
Yeah, I'm up in Longmont and seeing the same thing.
Well, I was just talking to my neighbor saying I'm going to have to run to the car wash because my car is covered with fine, fine ash.
Right, right. It's
You-
ugly.
You know, my experience last summer was the first time I'd ever paid any attention to air quality. And so we were running the bed and breakfast. Every morning I'd get up and Google and find what the air quality was today and the prediction for later on in the day. And I would actually give that out as information to the guests. Hey, Stanley, here's your brother.
Yeah, we've been under air quality alert now for 2 weeks. So
Hi, Irv.
Morning, Irving. So, Judy, we were just talking about your topic,
which was
which was how do I get to watch Poldark in Mexico? And
yes.
I found it available through a subscription with acornTV.
Oh,
And so you through Prime, you would register with acornTV and pay 80 pesos a month to have access to it. So it's
wow.
more or less an additional $4 a month.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I did not look at how much was on acornTV. If I can do that real
Didn't
quick.
we Acorn TV free with something?
Well, if that was Peacock TV is free.
No, Acorn, because somebody was telling me that they watched a lot of British TV on Acorn.
Well, there's a 7-day free trial that I'm aware of.
Maybe.
And then there's a lot of content on here. So I don't know. Maybe you pay $4 and binge watch it for a month. maybe that's your approach. These subscription services are insidious. I've got an Xbox Gold. Oh, hey Fred, how you doing? Good to see you, man. I've got an Xbox Gold subscription. And what that is that's for video games. And I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which is, I don't remember. I think it's like a $60 game. But it's one of hundreds of games that are available through this subscription service, very similar to like Netflix for games. And so I've gotten deep in this game. I'm paying $15 a month for it. My kids are deep into other games. We don't actually own any of them. So I can't figure out a way to turn off the subscription without losing access to everything we're doing right now. But I'm approaching, because it's one or two games, I'm approaching a price that I could have easily just bought the games outright. So
I looked up Acorn TV here in the U.S. and their annual rate $60.
$60. What is that? That's $5 a month, right?
It's either $6 a month, but if you pay for a year, you get 2 months free. So it's $60 for a year up here.
$60 for. So you know what? It's actually cheaper down here.
Yeah, it is by
a
about
buck
20.
cheaper. Say that again.
About $20 cheaper.
Oh, is it $20 cheaper?
Well, yeah, if you do $4 a month, it's 48 as opposed to 60. Well, not quite. $12. So
80
Well,
pesos. It's actually
yeah.
less than that at 80 pesos because I think the peso's at 22 right now.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Thank you so much. So I do have an option if I don't finish the series before I leave.
That's right. What else did I bring? Has anybody played with their smart speaker yet? Trying to create cryptic messages that will shoot off processes? I have to be honest, I haven't done it.
I haven't even set it up. So no.
You don't have yours set up?
Nope.
Why is that? Is it sitting behind you in a box?
Yeah, it's in the office in a box. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Do you want to set
I
it
don't
up? Do you want to set it up right now?
No, I don't want.
How about next Saturday?
Maybe I'll think about it.
Okay. Well, let me know because
It would give me somebody to talk to other than the dog.
right? For us, we use it for music all the time, and we use it for timers for cooking, or timers for anything.
I've got a timer that I use. It's on my microwave.
Yeah, my daughter just enlightened me to that timer. I've gotten so used to shouting out into the air, set a timer for 15 minutes, that I didn't even know we had a timer on the microwave that could just be used, and she started
Right.
using it. I'm like, yeah, and I'm the tech guy. Thank you for teaching me something.
Those are good unless you have a parrot, because then pretty soon the parrot starts giving commands.
Oh, that would make a great video of a parrot shooting off Amazon commands like buying toilet paper. Right?
Well, a minor bird, a friend of mine had a minor bird, and every time the phone rang, the bird would yell, "Sharon!"
So I just ordered bear spray through Amazon because I've now seen the bear in my neighborhood twice, and he's a big guy. And I figured once I pay the money and order bear spray, I won't see him again.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like calling me when you have a tech problem.
Right, they're black bears.
Yeah.
We don't
I have a bear spray story.
Oh,
that
good. Good.
You need to know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chester.
I have bear spray because in going into Canada, you can't get in with just regular pepper spray. It has to be bear spray.
Right.
So I had a can in each car in the glove box. And the Honda Odyssey we left in Arizona this summer. And a couple of weeks ago, with a 115 degree temperature, that bear spray can blew up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
I hope nobody was in the car at the time.
No one was in the car, thank goodness, but it has been a mess.
I
And
bet.
so be very careful with your bear spray that you won't leave it in a hot car.
Well, and I have a little thing of pepper spray that I keep in the car. It hasn't been quite that hot here, but
No, it probably won't be, but
thank goodness.
just be cautious.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a crazy story. I bet you're still cleaning it up.
No, I finally that happened a couple of weeks ago, and we've been cleaning ever since. But it's finally ready to go.
You touch something on the dash and then later go, oh, we've still got bear spray in the car.
Everywhere.
I looked at the ingredients online and they are pretty much the same as in a pepper spray, but it just shoots a lot farther. 30 feet is more in my comfort zone than 10, so.
Hey, Maggie. I see you joined us. How did we get on to bear spray?
I don't know, but it was pretty interesting.
It is interesting.
And we got on to bear spray because we were talking about Amazon commands. And
yes.
if you're joining us and don't know what I'm talking about, I had suggested we had found an article that talked about all these commands that would inadvertently shoot off your voice assistant, like a Google voice assistant or an Echo, or what else we got? We got Siri. And so I was proposing a challenge to find words that weren't nonsense. Intelligent words, intelligent phrasing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Intelligent phrasing that would shoot off commands inadvertently on one of these smart speakers. So you'd sit down with your Amazon Echo device and you'd start talking to it and seeing if you can get it to tell you the weather or the time or just do any simple command, but do it by accident and document that so that we can find something that can be used in civil conversation that would accidentally send it a recording of yourself or would tell it give you the movie. Well, maybe the movie showtimes is a bad example. I talked to a friend of mine that works at a movie theater just recently, and he doesn't know what's happening with that world. They're still on hold, whether that's actually going to be a thing in the future.
We have movie theaters open here in Colorado Springs.
Oh, you do? That's awesome.
Tinseltown opened a couple of weeks ago.
So, how is that working? I mean, have you? I'm assuming you haven't been to the movies. Do you know anything
No.
about their rules? If
I don't. But it's one of those cineplexes, you know, like there's 3 or 4, 5, 6 movies at kind of like Limas doubled.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But so no, I don't have a clue. It's not.
You know what they're doing here? They're selling popcorn.
Really?
Yeah, they're not having movies. They're not operating as a movie theater. At least this is the last time I checked. But what they're doing is they're selling popcorn. They're selling concessions. And so if you need movie popcorn, you can go buy it from the Wymus movie theater. But yeah, no movies. None of the. And in general, from what I understand here locally, every non-essential business is supposed to be operating at 30% capacity. And also the last time I checked around here, gatherings are supposed to be 10 or less people.
Right. Is the gym open?
The gym is open. I keep trying to get an update. Yuya's good friends with Inez, and so I've been picking her brain for information, but she's not quite as interested as I am. She's like, I'm not going to the gym. My wife is like, I'm not going to the gym. Why would I be asking questions? And we're kind of on the same page. For me, areas like that are just those are easy to avoid. I don't want to go to the gym in the first place.
They just lifted the quarantine rules at Loma Del Mar last week, so we're not under quarantine.
So it's not gated any longer to just.
It's gated. It's always gated.
Sure.
But as far as people being able to come in and out, I guess it's open now.
Oh, all right. I mean, I guess that's all right. I've heard I've heard the COVID units locally have mellowed out. There's like space in the so there's space to get sick now. So that's good.
They're still taking my temperature when I go to the assisted living to visit my mother-in-law, though, here. So that's still and I can't go into her apartment. We have to meet outside here in Colorado. So
you're reminding me, I just did something where they took my temperature. I can't remember what it was. I think it was going into Sam's Club. Yeah, Sam's Club, they took my temperature. Keeping track of people coming and going, all masks. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when we go to a restaurant here in Colorado, you have to give a contact phone number when you go into the restaurant.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Contact tracing like that.
Yeah, and I said, when did this start? And she said, several months ago. And I said, well, Chipotle doesn't do this. And she said, well, they can afford to fight the charges. We can't.
Wow. Well, yeah. In COVID news, they've had a standoff with a local famous, semi-famous restaurant back home in Anchorage, where he's defying the order, and we've got some churches defying the order, and it's just ridiculous. They finally came and just shut him down. They were charging ridiculous fines. I think it was thousands of dollars every day that he continued to operate, and finally just was shut down. It's difficult. That issue's difficult. I'm not sure I would want to be in that. And for my business, it's easier to say, nope, we're not doing any of that. Anything, it's easy to stay within the guidelines. But if you're a restaurant or I mean, you definitely have a political position.
I'd like to discuss one that occurred to me this morning, if you got a minute.
Sure, Chester, go ahead.
With Manhattan. And over the years, I've probably traveled to Manhattan 100 times. And you always stay in a high-rise hotel, and you eat in the hotel restaurants or you go out to restaurants. Well, currently, every restaurant is locked down except those on the sidewalk. And in Manhattan, there ain't no sidewalk restaurants.
Right, yeah.
So how does anyone do business going to New York these days? I don't know how they can survive.
Yeah.
Take out.
Take out. Yeah.
Well, you go to a hotel and you're going to take it out and take it back to your room, I guess. It's about the only way you can
Well,
do
they're
it.
doing the breakfasts that come with your room nowadays.
Well, and the hotels we've stayed in going back and forth to Oregon is they've eliminated the breakfasts in the hotels.
Holiday Inn gives you a brown bag to take back to your room to eat.
And where do you get
Really?
that brown?
Yeah.
Anyway, we think we have it rough.
Right.
I can't imagine what it would be like living in Manhattan.
Well, and people that, I mean, their whole business is, maybe it's a family business. Maybe it's multi-generational. I mean, our bed and breakfast is multi-generational. My parents have passed it down to me and my wife. And we're just shut down this summer. I mean, we applied for help because we have summer help that depends on that income during the summer, and we had to shut down the whole operation. It's difficult because in hindsight we're going to be able to see how serious we should have taken it. We already are seeing that we could have not created as big a situation as has created, as we can see across. But still, these businesses are looking for the new way to work. I get encouraged in Mexico here. They've got the Sonoran economic advisor. What I don't remember his title at the moment, but at least once a week he's on Facebook, and he's talking about moving businesses to Mercados Libre and how to do business on Amazon, and encouraging people to stay in their homes, try and minimize the amount of interactions, and to do business using the tools that exist online. And that's a state initiative doing that. I think they've been quick to adapt to the idea that this is business as usual. This is this is the way we're going to go forward. Let's get back to some.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Maggie. Please.
Well, I'm in Tucson. Been here a week, and the traffic is amazingly low. I happened to be out in rush hour traffic yesterday coming back from a doctor appointment, and I didn't even realize it was 4:30, 4:45, because the traffic was so minimal. Not for Tucson,
Yeah, we can sure relate to that around here. I was in Guaymas yesterday, and it occurred to me every time I've found myself in Guaymas over the last few months, it's completely navigatable. There's no one breathing down my neck. There's no one rushing off to go anywhere. There's plenty of room for me in every lane. It's actually feels like I feel like Guaymas is so poorly laid out for the amount of vehicles that we have in this community that it feels like, oh, finally this is what these roads were meant for, is this amount of traffic. If in hindsight, I was just going to suggest we get on to another tech topic if you guys are interested. And one of the things that I have found interesting just recently is an article that an Apple developer wrote talking about when they had to build a secret iPod for the Department of Energy. And they actually, in fact, I see Judy has put on her glasses, but it's probably because my presentation is so blurry. Let me change the presentation mode so that it's actually readable. And this is a top secret iPad that was created. They actually had software engineers that came in to work with a very small group of Apple people to give them help in adapting an iPod to run secret equipment. And the equipment is the guy writing the article, the engineer that was involved in this. He said there's only 4 people at Apple that actually knew that this happened. But his interpretation was that it was something probably like a Geiger counter that they were trying to discreetly put into one of these iPods so that you could have a device with you that that would be wouldn't be suspicious, but it could be recording data to the storage mechanism in the iPod. And so the way he's written this article, it's an article on Tidbits, which I'd never heard of before. But the way he's written it is kind of like a spy novel. It's a great article. It's short. You could easily get through it in quick reading. And it's the custom iPod that never existed. It's one of the few times that Apple has let people into their building from the government to build like a spy device. And only a few people knew about it. And it's just recently become, or it's been I guess this article was from, no, it's recent. Yeah, very recent. Back in 2005 is when he started on this project. But I'm going to put a link to it in our meeting because I found it fascinating to read about. I thought you guys would find it interesting as well. You may even own one of this device. This device was such a popular device. And the goal of the project was to the engineers that were working on this, they actually had to get special permission to get inside the building, but they were taking apart iPods that they had bought themselves. So the government, Apple wouldn't provide the equipment. They wouldn't provide free access to everything they had, but they would provide a version of the source code for the device. And they were required to use devices that they bought in the consumer space. And they would take those apart. They would add their own custom equipment to it, whatever it was. And the idea was that they needed help putting into the Apple system the code that would allow them to use the buttons to execute it, the screen to view it, and the recording device to their storage media. At this time, it was a hard drive. In the story, they actually talk about how the Apple engineer suggested to these engineers they use a hidden partition on the hard drive, which is what they ended up doing, so that however this equipment, again, this engineer speculates that it was a Geiger counter they were putting together, because it would be easy to have an iPod with you at all times throughout some inspection or even going around a city. So this is U.S. Department of Energy, and they could have a radiation. They're responsible for radiation, and so they could go around a city using a device like this without without tipping off that they were doing inspections. So they could go to the outside of facilities, they could go into areas like hospitals, and they could do these readings and record it discreetly on this device. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool.
I do have one of those.
You do have one of these, yes.
It's not work anymore, but I still have it.
There is a whole genre of hackers out there that are making these devices work and continuing to use them for things. And so if you are interested in getting that to work, you're probably just a couple of Google searches away from somebody like me that's an enthusiast of these devices. And
Well, or I can maybe just, if I can find it, maybe I'll just bring it with me when I come down.
yeah,
Me
we may be
too.
able to get it working. I'm certain that there are people out there still building battery packs for them, so that if it's the battery and the hard drive, they were some of the original mobile devices that used the laptop hard drives. So the hard drive is actually going to end up being one of the hardest parts to replace, because I think the interface is an IDE interface. I'll have to look it up. Maybe these newer ones were SATA interfaces, but the original ones were definitely IDE
Mine looks
interfaces.
just like this one on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool. Well, I'll put a link to this story in today's meeting if you guys want to go read it. It's on Tidbits. The
And
case of
I think that's an Apple News thing, isn't it, Tidbits?
is it?
I don't know. I think it is.
I've never paid any attention to it before this. I just found it thoughtful, detailed coverage of everything Apple for 30 years. Look, and I haven't even, and I'm not even aware of it. It's like our computer club, thoughtfully followed by 15 people for the last 20 years.
But very thoughtfully.
That's right. We're here even though you're not. Well, does anybody have any questions or things they'd like to bring up? Did that trigger anything? Any topics you'd like to share? I'll keep going down my list. I've got what else have I got here? Okay, here's a good one. If you're using an Apple product, you're using an iPhone. Oh wait, no, that's what I was just looking at. Hold on a second. Let me get the right thing up here. What I was going to say is that Apple has, with their iPhones and their iPads, they have been making it possible to replace some of their apps with your own apps. Now, you've done this kind of stuff before. You download Google Maps, you download Google Gmail, Google Meet. You're not locked into using Apple Mail or Safari or FaceTime. You can use these alternatives, and Google has their alternatives. Microsoft has their own alternatives. And since iOS 13.4, they have been making it possible for you to set those alternatives as the default. Well, what has happened now, that's been out for a while. We've been waiting for app developers to make their apps available as defaults. And one of the defaults is the dashboard mode that comes with CarPlay. And the news now is that Google Maps has finally been set up. This is a Google thing, not an Apple thing. Apple's made it available for a while now, but Google has finally changed their map app so that it will interface with Google CarPlay. And if you have CarPlay in your car and you're connecting your phone, then you can use Google Maps instead of Apple Maps. And anybody that's compared the two have probably been frustrated that you couldn't bring up Google Maps in lieu of Apple Maps because of its superior quality. I'm not getting anything from this plug for Google Maps. But I think it's cool that you are able to now take control of this dashboard in your car from your phone, and you can say, I'd rather use Google Maps, I'd rather use Pandora as my music, and you'll get side by side your media player and your map and instructions for where you're going, all through Apple's CarPlay dashboard mode. I think this is very cool. On a side note, not necessarily the main topic, but Google part of their Maps update includes the update for the Apple Watch. I don't have an Apple Watch, but I listened to some journalists talking about how it is actually a very cool feature to be walking down the road, going to a destination, and having I said wife instead of watch, having your watch. Now that I make that Freudian slip
The
there,
Freudian slip.
yeah, maybe I don't want my watch telling me which direction to go. I'm thinking about it right now, and I get a little annoyed being told which direction to go. Of course, I've heard that you can download voices, so maybe if Darth Vader was telling me what to do, I would be good with it. Use the left turn. Turn left on Broadway. Anyway, they've updated their Apple Watch app so that now you can get turn-by-turn instructions on your Apple Watch. Part of the same upgrade.
I'm here to verify you don't like to be told what to do.
Thank you, Pop. It's good to see ya.
Thank you. Your mother's out caribou hunting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was taken off with my niece and brother-in-law to go caribou hunting. Hey, Pop, do you have any topics for the club today? I've just been going down a list of stuff I've brought. Is anybody using Google? Here's a good question. Is anybody using Google Maps on their Apple device instead of Apple Maps? Maggie does.
Yeah, I can do it. It's harder.
You think Apple Maps is easier?
Well, easier to get to on my phone for sure.
So, that's one of the changes that's happened recently is that you can choose Google Maps as your default map, and it should be easier to get to now.
I'll have to see about that.
Yeah, it's I personally don't have an Apple device, but I would imagine it's in settings somewhere where you're doing default setting default map app on iPhone. Yeah. Select default app from available map apps. Scroll down to Google app, settings, and tap select default app. So you'd actually, that's an odd way to go around it, but you would go to Google Apps in the apps setting of a section of your settings on your phone. And
I'm at Google Maps.
And you would tell it to be the default app.
No.
No?
Not under settings, Google Maps. It gives me location, Siri and search. Maybe it's in there. No. Notification.
How do I set Google Maps as my default on iPhone? These are all from September 7th of 2019.
To 13.6.1. So.
Yeah, so you have the operating system. I think these instructions may be from before. Yeah, let me see if I can find instructions from recently. No, it looks like this is the way to do it. It looks like you've been able to do this for a year, almost a year, because we're going.
Okay, now going into maps. Let's see. Maybe it's under maps.
Well, it wouldn't be under Apple Maps.
Well, that's where
it would be
is and Open Table and those kind of things. But no, it's not there.
Oh, wait a second. I think you might be right. Okay, I'll take. It says launch the settings app from your home screen. Tap on Maps. There's a Maps icon.
Yes.
Tap on driving, walking, transit, or cycling. under preferred type of travel.
Okay.
And why
Driving.
can't I scroll? My window just froze on me. Hold on a second. I don't know why it's freezing on me. Let me cut back over to here. Maybe it has something to do with what I'm doing. Okay. And navigation. How to change? No. This is what happens
you
when
helped
we
carry out those two chairs, those two matching chairs. Yeah. I was thinking they might be good.
Hey, Bill's with us. Hello, Bill.
Hey, hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm giving bad
Hey.
instructions.
Hang on a minute.
Well, this thing lies to me. It says it has
It
these
doesn't.
instructions here, but it doesn't have these instructions here. How to change? So it's changing. Says, you know what? It's not it that's lying. It's Google that's lying to me. Google pointed me right to this. Set default map app on iPhone. It should be a simple thing. And I get these simple instructions from Google that say open the Google app on iPhone. Default map on iPhone. The Google app. You have a Google app installed?
Yes.
Okay. Tap on the settings icon.
In Google app.
In the Google app. That's what it's telling me.
Okay, hold on a second here.
I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. I'm saying I am following like a sheep the
Navigation.
instructions that Google gave me.
Google Map. I've opened the app.
Okay. And then in the app, in the settings, scroll down to Google App Settings.
Jim.
Oh, I'm there.
And then select default app from the available map apps.
Navigation.
Set ways, default map, changing default navigation app on Android and iPhone. Oh, this is Android. See, it's easy.
Yeah, right. Navigation, muted, alerts only, unmuted, Play voice over Bluetooth. Play as a phone call. Oh, there it is.
You got it.
No, this is using OK Google as my rather than Siri.
Now, did you find that in the Google app or did you find that in
Yes.
your...
No,
Okay.
the Google app.
All right, so that is very counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yes.
But
Because I could never get, hey, Google to, oops, sorry.
Oh, I found it. It's right next to
Where?
where you found your Siri settings. It's in the Google. I've got it on my screen right now. See if this looks, oh, that's the wrong screen. Hold on. Can you see that? Or do I need to go into presentation mode?
Now I can't see it because it's blurry, but I can see it.
Okay, I'm going to go into presentation mode, but I think I've got it. I think we found it. It's the same idea. So what you're doing is you're going to, did that work? Yeah. You're going to the Google app and you're telling the Google app what you want to use as defaults.
Google app settings. I'll have to find
change default map on iPhone. And it's under, if you're looking on my screen here, you go to the Google app, you go into settings, you go under the Google app settings, and there it should be listing in your available map apps. That's what
I have to do not on my phone. It's possible that it's not going to work doing it on my phone.
Why not? It should.
I know because I went into Google Maps. I went into settings.
Well, this is the Google app.
Yes, I'm on the Google app.
Okay.
and I went into settings.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's
And
not
then
in
you scroll down settings and you have one there that says Google App Settings. And you click on that. And then in that column, in that list of things, there is a default, select default app from available maps. If you scroll down, after you click on Google App Settings.
I do not have Google App Settings on the Google app.
Neither do I.
Oh, good.
Damn it. This is why I need an iPhone. If you guys want really good help me buy an iPhone. Damn it. I hate it when this happens because all I've got to go on is information from Google.
But these are all Androids, so you need to go to a iPhone.
Well, I thought I was looking at that. How to change default navigation app on Android and iPhone.
Okay.
Okay, Scott.
Yes, sir. Do you have something to chime in with, Bill?
No, I'm just saying that we checked in and we're busy at this Miss Cheryl's estate sale thing, and we just said we thought we would say hi. There you go.
Well, hello.
Oh,
hey, Bill.
Hey.
We're happy to have you with us.
Yeah, well, and it's not lasting much more. I'm going back to work.
Oh, you're not going to stay for this entertaining conversation of how to set your iPhone to maps?
It is as riveting as it is.
I'm gonna give up on this. I'm at a point where I need to do actual research instead of off the cuff research. So,
move down on your screen.
That is not gonna happen. You know it.
Move down. You're still on Android.
Yeah, it all looks like Android now to me.
The bottom.
All right.
Okay.
Bill's gone.
See you, Bill.
Bye, Bill.
Thanks for showing up.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Default map on iPhone. You're right there.
Okay. Open Google app.
Yes.
Type this is default. Let's see.
Just
Tap on directions. Open one place. Google will open a card. Open places and directions with. Turn off. Ask me which app to use every time. No. Here it is. This is what I was looking at. I went all the way to the top of the page to make sure that we were looking at information for both Android and iPhone, and you can see it right there. How to change default map on iPhone. And it is in the Google app, at least by these instructions. Did we lose Judy? Oh, there she is. Okay.
I'm here. I just muted it because I was getting it.
So I think this is as far as I can go without actually looking at your device, or if this information has been updated, going and finding updated information. Because it looks to me like you should go into the Google app, go to the gear in the upper left-hand corner that's the settings gear. That'll open the settings window. And then as you scroll down there, there's one there that's...
It's not the settings window that opens on my iPhone 10.
Okay. So this, what we see a picture of here, doesn't look like yours.
No. It says navigation, commute, ride service assistant, exploring places, using maps, distance uses, voice, blah, 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 blah.
Well, what does it say at
the account settings?
At the top of the window, does it say settings?
Yes.
And you got in here by clicking on the gear in the upper left-hand corner?
Yes.
Wonderful.
But it doesn't have those options underneath.
Don't you love this about tech? So you are on 13.6. How to change default apps in 13. This may be the answer for any default app. Come on, Mac world. Sometimes Google sometimes feels like a one-armed bandit. You're like, ching, let's see how we can do this time. By jailbreaking? No.
No.
Default apps. Manually selecting different apps. Refuse to let you change.
It looks like it's awkward.
Yeah, it looks like it's intentionally awkward. Okay, well, this is making for riveting conversation with you guys.
Riveting.
Yeah, I'm going to put this on a list that needs more research because I just became enlightened to something that I thought was supposed to be easy and is not.
Well,
So,
I just got interesting. Let me tell you what I just got here. Did you know that a COVID-19 sensor has been inserted secretly into every phone?
Definitely add that to our list of topics.
Yeah, it says apparently even when every phone was having a phone disruption earlier this week, they were adding COVID-19 trackers to our phones.
So, this has been going. What you just got has been going around the internet for weeks now. So this is
definitely. It tells you how to find it if it's there.
Yeah, and it's definitely there because your content on your phone, in respects to what they show you, they show you, or they tell you to go into like your Google settings.
Right.
And so when you go into your Google settings on your phone, that is actually a web service online. And so anytime they change the text, that's going to change on your phone. And that's quite literally what's happened is when you go into your Google settings, you're bringing up a web page. And that web page has changed to include COVID-19 tracking.
Right. And mine is turned off.
Yeah, and you can turn it on. And if you turn it on, what that does is it puts you into the COVID-19 tracking program. And as you use your phone with a Google app on it, it sends your location information like it always does. It's been sending your location information ever since if it's an Android phone, there's nothing you can do about it. It absolutely knows where you are because it's all a Google operating system. But then on your Apple phone, it can use the Apple API, or you can use the Apple version of the COVID tracking, and then Apple knows where you are at all times, and it's keeping track of that.
But it's false.
Say what, Linda?
It's false.
The message is false. I mean, the premise is sound, but the message is false because...
Yeah, I just looked it up on Snoops, and it says it's false.
Yeah. I mean, it is false because there is no specific sensor that's intended for tracking COVID. It hasn't been added to your phone. But these are ways, I mean, it's just a purely entertainment value, I think, that they're passing this thing around.
Well, it's even dated in June.
Yeah.
This is already the end of August.
It's been around for a while. But there is COVID tracking that is going on, and you can participate in it. But you're not being thrown into it. There's no subvert system that's being put in, a covert system being put into your phone to track you without your... I mean, it's actually an issue in places like South Korea. It was mandatory opt-in. That's the reason they were able to get control of their tracking so quickly, is people that had cell phones in South Korea, they didn't get a choice. Judy, you just saw that you could choose to opt in, right. And that's the reason the system's failing in the United States, is most people won't choose to be tracked, even though they've been tracked ever since they got a smartphone.
So I have something, I don't know whether you all watched the convention that just finished up, but I thought that having the virtual convention They did an amazing job. There was only a couple of glitches that I saw. And I thought it was very interesting how they made this new format work fairly quickly.
Me too.
Did you guys see the picture of the guy that ran the whole thing from his living room?
No.
No.
Oh, he had screens, big screens. Yeah, yeah. Let me go ahead and continue the commentary. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Well, I for one thought it was really amazing. I liked the format. I thought it was much better than the actual convention. It was more interesting. I watched it on C-SPAN, so I didn't have all those people talking all the time. The commentators.
The talking heads.
Yeah, and C-SPAN doesn't have that, but I just thought it was amazing that it went off really well.
Well, I think the talking girls, the commentators did a pretty good job.
On which channel?
I was watching it on CNN.
Yeah, but you got all the CNN people's talking too. On C-SPAN, you only get the people that are introducing. So I thought overall though it was really, really good.
I did too, Judy.
I've watched clips on YouTube, but I didn't actually watch the convention itself.
Well, we'll see how they do on this week's convention. I'm going to watch it, of course.
Well, and
See
I watched
that.
all of this last one, so I don't know whether I'll watch almost all of this next one, but for sure some of it.
I don't think I've missed a convention since 1956. Either one, Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm having no luck finding the picture I'm thinking of, and now I'm realizing, hey, maybe that was fake news.
Hey, Irving, you're on your mute.
Maybe I'm passing fake news.
I have a question.
Sure, Chester. How can we help you?
Well, for many years, I've been using a program, and once you start getting accustomed to a particular program, you don't like to do something new. But I've been using Microsoft Streets and Trips, and they quit producing it 10 years ago. And I thought it was great for planning trips and for looking at alternative ways to take a trip. And does anyone know of a good substitute, a modern substitute for Microsoft Streets and Trips?
Has anybody been using Google Maps in this manner, or Apple Maps in this manner for trip planning? I periodically do it on the fly, but I haven't sat down and mapped out a trip before the way you're talking about. You're talking about, like, I want to do a road trip across the United States. And
Sam's Club used to offer that, and I used to use that a lot.
I do Mapquest. It works really good, and you can go from city to city.
That's called Mapquest.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Mapquest.
It works really good.
I use Mapquest. Mapquest used to be able to, you could, on my old car, I could send Mapquest directly to my car, but they got rid of that since, I don't know when, it's been quite a while.
I have nothing in this conversation because I don't do this activity, but I just came across an app called Trip Happy. Have no idea, but it claims to do that.
Trip Happy.
I don't know if you ever heard of it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I use Mapquest or...
It's funny, Mapquest isn't coming up as one of the results. I mean, I'm very familiar with Mapquest. I know if we could get, you just think it would be one. Oh, there it is. It's like the 7th result.
Yeah, it has always worked pretty well for me. Plus, you can save your old map.
Hey, here's a name that's familiar. Rand McNally has a trip maker.
Scott and Chester.
Say again?
I've been using MapQuest and I use it often for years. And it's a very, very good program that's got almost all addresses. A Mapquest, you don't need any more than that.
Good.
Well, that's what it's sounding like. I just brought up Mapquest's route planner, multi-stop route planner, and it looks
Right.
like the thing to use.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's a real easy URL too. It's mapquest.com/route planner.
Yeah, it works good.
Good. That's the answer I needed. I appreciate.
Looks like it survives on advertising, banner ads. You know, that's how that Photoshop clone was we were looking at last week. That Photopia was all, he made all his money off of these banner ads. People spent millions of hours on his Photoshop clone program on the web, and he made all his money off. And he said he made like 250,000 last year, and it was all just hours of advertising revenue that he brought in because his Photoshop clone was so popular. Did anybody get a chance to play with that app over the week?
I downloaded it and I played with it for just a little bit. I was interested in the background eraser opportunity, and the first problem I had was blowing up whatever it is you wanted to erase very carefully. In other words, zooming, and it only had one zoom element, where in Photoshop you zoom it all you want to. So that I found that to be a problem, but I haven't been back to it to learn more about it. But it was interesting in that it has a lot of the characteristics of Photoshop, but that's one essential, is the ability to zoom dramatically is essential for me.
Yeah. It's interesting right off the bat. You're able to come up with something that's not working in it, but there's a lot of stuff in there. You can imagine going to any computer in front of you and having to do something real quick. Just having that name in your head, you've got access to a Photoshop suite. Give it limited, not exactly the same. But what I didn't understand is what you said about downloading it is absolutely true. Apparently, all the tools that you get from that Photopia, when you go to that website, it downloads into your web browser. Then you're not dependent on the internet anymore. You could disconnect from the internet and use that tool to work on photos.
And you can purchase the advanced program. I think it's $40 a year to use their to use it in several computers and not have to be on the internet.
Yeah, I think Adobe might find themselves in trouble if this is the kind of competition they have. I use a video editing program that allows me to have access to a number of effects and different things that features is the word I'm looking for, of the features that I would need for editing video that you would typically go to Adobe Premiere to do. But this program does what I need it to do, works well, and costs $20. So why would I go buy Adobe Premiere? This Photopia sounds like it's in the same class as software. If it covers all your needs, that's free is a hard price to beat.
If I get a chance to analyze it some more and try to compare it to Photoshop, I'll try to report back one of these days when I get to do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Chester. I know you're the big Photoshop person. If my mom was on, she's a big Photoshop person as well. I'd be interested in knowing what kind of experience if she's tried it out, if she enjoyed it. What else?
For anyone that's interested in Photoshop, the only available Photoshop current is to subscribe on a monthly payment, and you're in the cloud. But you can go onto eBay and buy clean copies of the older Photoshop programs which are very, very good programs and awesome.
Yeah, so it's the full-blown version. It's not a pirated version. It's a authentic version of the software. They're selling it in a used market, kind of like buying used books.
Yes.
Yeah. That whole philosophy for software has been very difficult as we've moved to cloud-based services. Judy, are you out of here?
I'm out of here.
All right.
I'm down to 18% on my laptop, so I'm out of here.
All
Bye.
right, well, we'll talk to you next week. That's a good indicator, too. I'm realizing that we're at the end of the hour, and I'm happy to keep talking with you for a bit, but it is kind of, I mean, if you guys start funneling out, I completely understand. I've kind of run out of topics. I've only got one last topic, and I think I'm going to save it because I'm still fighting with it. But what there is, I'll give you a little primer on it. There's a software that's come from Windows 10. It's come from Microsoft called Your Phone, and the idea is that you can you install this in your phone, your Android device or your iPhone device, and when you approach your computer, there's a link between your phone and the computer. And it gives you actually access to your photos, gives you access to your phone calls. You can actually control your phone. You can shoot off phone calls from it, and it all happens from your computer. So I only last week got it working. I've been aware of it for a couple of weeks now. Well, a couple months, because it's been around and they've been adding features to it. But what I'm really interested in is they announced, and it's for insiders only, the ability for you to run Android applications on your Windows 10 computer. And it looks like the way that they're going to do this is through your Android phone. So you're able to, and using this Your Phone application, you're going to be able to access the apps that run on your phone on the screen on your computer. Now, this is a Microsoft Windows 10 feature, so if you're an Apple user, I don't think you're going to be able to take advantage of this unless you have a Windows 10 partition that you're running. But I think it'd be interesting. I want to see it work. I finally got my phone connected to Windows 10 so that I'm able to make phone calls, see messages, get notifications. If somebody text messages me on my phone, it pops up on my Windows 10 display. If all my notifications are now showing up on my display, so maybe I'll save this for next week, and I'll do a little presentation on it so you can see my WhatsApp messages, my Skype messages, all that actually coming out of my phone onto my Windows 10 computer. Oh, and photos. You know what? That's what I thought was I thought that was the killer feature of this app, was that you were able to get access to your gallery of photos on your computer by using this Your Phone application. You can go into your photos and it would let you see your gallery, and you can deal with your photos through this app without having to get them on your hard drive and without putting them up there in the cloud like I've recommended before using the Google Photos program. So that's all Microsoft stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's Can I answer questions or address any topics anybody that's left has? I'm very happy to address anything or do research for next week. Is there anything that we've left? I have put on my list how to change default maps, but actually this is how to change default apps on an iPhone, because you're supposed to be able to do it easy enough. And apparently it's not a Google search away. We found that out today.
You were talking about getting an iPhone?
Well, go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, the new SC was about $350 at Costco.
Oh, that's not a bad price for one. An SE would satisfy that itch too.
And the SE is running the same software as the 11.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Is it's a smaller phone, but it's got the latest operating system in it. Geez, I wonder what did you happen to look at what size capacity it was that was going for that price?
64, I think.
64. I'm looking in the here's an iPhone SE 64 with Telcel for 10,000, basically 11,000 pesos. So here in Mexico, that same phone is going for like $500, $550. Wow.
Well, Costco, yeah, I went to T-Mobile, and they wanted $3.99 for it plus tax, and I walked across the street to Costco, and or
saved
they wanted
$100.
Well, I saved $50. So.
$50. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? If the phone isn't 5G, you're gonna have a problem.
Well,
it's 5G.
Is it 5G?
Because
this is the latest SE, right?
Well, it's running the same
changing
software.
here.
You know what? I think Linda's right. Yeah, it does not have 5G. This is the controversial thing because Apple is very slow to adopt to new technology. Apple is really good about maximizing the performance of established technology, making it very easy for customers to use. But there is no 5G SE right now, and so that could be a hindrance in the future. Right now, it doesn't pose a problem because there isn't an abundance of 5G anywhere. I wonder what this is. There's a counterpoint point
Well,
argument.
it's going to be next year.
What was that, Linda?
It's going to be next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we'll see it next year.
That's what they told me at AT&T.
I think that's speculation because nobody knows unless you're an Apple engineer, but I think that's pretty good speculation. Hey, and there's a great article here about the real reason Apple launched an iPhone SE. I'm going to put that in my list for next week. You guys, I'm going to sign off. You have an awesome day today. Another fun meeting with all of you. If there's anything I can do to help you guys with any computer issues remotely, let me know. That is the way I've been doing work. I'm available. Check out our website, I'm available, and I'm available, scott@internationalcs.net. You can email me, or you can check out my website, internationalcs.net. You are available if you're interested in these meetings. If you've missed one, or you're just a fan, you can check us out at scclub.org. That's where I post links to all this. And of course, we're on YouTube at scclub.org. Just do a search for that, or the San Carlos Computer Club. I also reproduce these as audio podcasts, and you can find those using your podcast software just by searching for the San Carlos Computer Club. Until next Saturday, you guys tech on, and we'll talk next week.
Take care.
Bye from San Pedro.
Adios from San Carlos.
Longmont, Colorado.
Right. Fred, you want to say a sign-off word? With your mic not muted? Your mic's muted. There you go.
Adios from South Bend, Washington.
All right, Fred. Have an awesome week, man.
Thank you.
Stanley?
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Scott. Yeah, goodbye.
We'll see you next week, Stanley. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Did you have some?
Care.
You have something else there?
Here for What?
Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you next week then.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, this is the San Carlos Computer Club. I'm Scott Stimson with International Computer Solutions signing out. That is, I am the last one in this meeting, so I'm going to turn off our meeting, and I am going to sign off on the internet. So all of you watching on YouTube, next week, next Saturday at 9, we'll see you then. Tech on.